Of course, I prefer that he will stay in Europe to play in a European team. I told him, I've seen him in London 2 weeks ago, and we spoke about that. But he's experienced, intelligent player. He knows what he has to do. When he chooses the money of China, you must respect it. And when he's playing in a good China club, like Oscar or other players, good players too, it's not a reason to take him never again. So when he's playing well, he will come. When the level is not so high in this championship, I think the player can be better, even playing in a China country, than the last time when he didn't play at all.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, well, you've missed quite a bit, but we will compensate you with what we have left on the show. We'll continue with our discussion. Like I told you, we've made a switch. Joseph Atewe and Cosmos Chukwuemeka have joined me now, and of course, we will be looking at the African Cup of Nations. But let me allow you listen again to coach of the Super Eagles, Bernard Rohr, has some interesting things to say today about the Super Eagles captain, Mikel Obi, and some other issues. We'll take that and we'll be back for more on Sports Tonight.
I started, my first trip was to going to Spain to see the team of Chan, who's playing with Yusuf in, where was it, Granada, Valencia, and so I was, so they are supposed to be the best local players normally, you know. So after I had a look on Olympics too, I see all the games, video, all. So I have seen some players I took with me, you remember, Etebo and other one, Ekong, and our objective is to have young players, players who are motivated, who are not coming for money or something. They are coming to win, and they're coming because they like their country, and it's an honor for them to play for Nigeria. So the local players, I have my assistant Imama all the time. We phone, he sent me some messages or some videos about the players. He knows all the best players of the country. This is why I'm happy to have him in my staff. My friend Victor told me when I'm arriving already a lot of things about Nigerian football. So even when I could not see a lot of games, I think my assistants know very well the football. Yusuf is a chief coach, so he knows it very well too. And I listen to them, and together we do it. I cannot be everywhere. The priority was in the beginning to see the players who are playing the games, the qualifiers. And most of them are in Europe. But I remember that for the second game we have 5 local players, you know? 5 local players. I saw them in Spain, or my assistants recommended them. And I have confidence, I trust them. So I think we have a good staff in a really good collaboration. And sometime you must delegate something. So they have this work to do for me, but I will try to be there maximum too.
Welcome back. Well, inspiring, I must say. As always, listening to Bernard Rohr, you almost feel that the ticket is in the back. Well, I told you the guys are in the house. Guys, you listen to the coach. First, let me welcome you, Joseph Cosmos.
Good evening.
It's good to have you guys on the day when the English Premier League is going on and you're here. I understand. But let's be here. Cosmos, you listen to him.
Yeah.
He talked about John Mikel Obi, talked about the players. I'm amazed. I like when a man knows his job.
Yeah.
I like it when a man understands his surroundings. I also like it when a man knows that he can't do everything by himself.
I mean, pretty much talks about the unity in the technical department of the Nigeria Super Eagles. Talking about the unity in the technical crew. I mean, he understands the fact that he can't do it all alone. Yes, he has assistants, especially in Nigeria, that understands the job. He talked about the Mama Amakapabo, who is a champion when it comes to the league in Nigeria, and of course, somebody as young as he is understands the job, understands the players, understands the sort of players that should be in the national team. He talks about Salisu Yusufu, and the fact that there's a synergy in the national team. I'm talking about the technical crew.
Yeah.
Because if the leaders, everybody has a role. Everybody has a role, and their role is well spelled out. And the fact that he has seen some of the local-based players, and that either they are in the national, or he either saw them in Spain, or they were recommended by the players. And talking about the players, he has confidence on the players, and that just it. Now, talking about John Mikel Obi, the fact that yes, he understands that if Mikel Obi says he wants to play anywhere, we should all respect him, although he wants him to play in Europe, and he's looking like Mikel Obi will probably do that. And we hear Valencia is on the radar. We hear probably might sign soon or something. Nothing is decided yet, but it shows that there's unity in that team, and the fact that he's happy with whatever is happening.
All right. Joseph, what do you make of everything that you've heard? I'm very sure you'll probably be repeating some of the things Cosmos said, but I mean, listening to the man, inspiring words.
Well, you must understand why he wants Mikel to continue playing in Europe, because you look at the national team, the set of players that make up the national team are players who are in current form. The likes of Oscar Ramirez might regret that move to China, because for you to make it down to the Brazilian squad, you have to be, giving incredible performances out there in China, performances that will make headlines all over the world. And look at China, do they have that, atmosphere for these players to succeed there? So the same thing applies to John Obi Mikel. If he moves to China, trust me, if you invite a Mikel, Nigerians will criticize you. Has he gotten enough playing time? Yes, he has. And which league? Is it a less competitive league? So if he remains in Europe, trust me, maybe in Spain with Valencia, that we hear, he moves down to Italy, maybe with Torino, according to the news, making the rounds. I think for me, you still have to see Mikel week in, week out, and that way it gives you that added quality going into the different games.
Joseph, let's talk about another thing that is heartwarming. I don't know, maybe I'm getting carried away. You guys should help me out here. He's talking about young players. This is a coach that has been bold enough on few occasions to throw the young guys in. And he's also saying, look, I'm monitoring some guys, and I'm going to give you a bunch of young lads that are not coming because of the money, that are very eager to play for Nigeria.
Well, I'm very eager. I think for me, coming from coach like Gernot Rohr, I think for me he's only trying to, to please the media. Because if you look at the last friendly or the last game we played, if I'm correct, only Ikechukwu Ezenwa was the only home-based player and probably one of the youngest in that squad. So for me, at this point, the pressure on Rohr is to succeed. The pressure on him right now is too much. At every level, he has to win and qualify Nigeria to the World Cup. So you have to be at your best for him, to invite you to the Super League. But giving youngsters the chance, maybe in friendlies, and if they can seize the opportunity, who says they can make it?
Well, I feel that he has pretty much shown intention on them, fielding young players. Of course, Kelechi Iheanacho is young. Alexi Iwobi started the last 2 games and has been awesome as well. Wilfred Ndidi has actually come. Wilfred Ndidi was that deciding factor for Nigeria against
Although for those guys, age is not a factor.
Yeah.
You would select those guys.
That's the thing. Anytime, any day. I feel what he's trying to do is that there's this blend between the old and the new. Yeah. There's a blend between the young and the old, and that is just it. It's not going to be an holistic change. Anyone that wants to do holistic change with the national team, you better think twice, and that is just it. So Gernot Rohr understands the fact that young players are very, very important, but at the same time that the old soldiers on the team would be able to integrate some of these young guys to make a good team. And so far so good with the last 3 games I've seen under Geno Troy, we pretty much have a good team that you know, the old can be able to, you know, teach the young, and
we get that perfect blend.
Yeah.
Guys, let's talk about this one. Well, it's the worst kept secret. We all knew at some point what was going to happen. Still talking about a Super Eagles player. Well, not really a regular, but a member of the squad. Wilfred Ndidi, the worst kept secret. We always knew he was going to Leicester, but today it has been announced that he's going to Leicester, and a burden has been put on him because a lot of people are beginning to compare him with N'Golo Kante. Well, and I hope that the burden is not too big for him to carry. But Joseph, a good one for Wilfred. But then the comparisons.
Well, at this point, I think it's too early to compare both players. Look at N'Golo Kante, what he did with Leicester.
What he's doing with Chelsea.
It's proved his worth. I mean, right now playing for Chelsea and doing fantastic well with the club. For Wilfred Ndidi, I think the progression is something I like from Nets boys, from a competition organized in Lagos, you know, to racing Genk out there at the points they never believed in him. But as we speak today, there's a big move to Leicester. It's a good one for Wilfred Ndidi and his agents, a big loss for racing Genk, because I think for me, it's a perfect blend for Leicester City. Wilfred Ndidi won't win you the Premier League, but will probably sustain Leicester City, or probably keep that mode in the English Premier League. Will not see them relegated. So for me, it's a good one for him and good one for the Super Eagles. At least we have one of our stars, you know, playing for one of the best clubs in the world.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, Wilfred Ndidi joining his teammates, Musa in the team, and of course, joining the likes of all the young players too that are playing for big clubs. I'm talking Alex Iwobi and of course Kelechi Iheanacho. Certainly, he's not going to be a Kante. I mean, he's going to carve a niche for himself. They play very differently. Kante is the kind of player that plays. He plays some sorts like Claude Makelele. When I say Wilfred play, I remember the time when Patrick Vieira was doing it for France, and of course Arsenal at the time. For me,
comparisons are very difficult.
Very difficult. But then
Wilfred's a good player.
A very good player.
Any day,
any time, and I think Leicester City needs somebody like that in the middle of the pack.
And he comes in, guys. He comes in highly rated. A lot of top managers have, you know, described him, paint glowing pictures of what Wilfred will do. But as Nigerians, we're happy, and hopefully,
certainly,
his career will have impact on the Super Eagles.